Europe is just not on. If you have money, if you have inclination, go and see that now itself. All your Eiffel Towers and other places. Right? Nothing, my grandson at least did not mug up that Budapest is the capital of Hungary and other things. I did throughout my school days. I always used to write Sweden as the capital of Norway and Norway as the capital of Sweden, and both the times I was wrong, actually. All that is gone now. 2% of the globe. And they have tried all the things. The reproductive rate in most of the European countries is less than 2. Many countries it is less than 1. They are simply not growing. So there is a huge migration is taking place. And now additional issue due to Middle East burning. People are all, and most of the migrants, most of the brown collar work in Europe is today done by migrants. No white European you will find, removing garbage or cleaning the roads or picking the, grapes and other things. All the migrants are from, coincidentally, Islamic countries. So when there is an economic decline, you tend to blame the migrants everywhere, whether it is Mumbai, Bangalore or anywhere. And the economy is booming, you want all the migrants in to do the work. And there is a decline, everybody is blaming. So Greece, for instance, is running 25% unemployment. 50% youth unemployment. Youth means 16 to 24, important. Because in India, 45 is also youth. That's not the definition in Europe. So there is an acute, so there is an anti-migrant feeling is severely growing in Europe. And which is also becoming anti-Islam feeling. Day before yesterday, the Le Pen, who is one of the major leaders against this whole European Union idea, she may come to power in France also. She has formed a alliance across Europe. So there is a huge amount of turmoil in terms of US is not having so much problem because US has got this Mexico, like India has got Bangladesh, which provides the continuous supply of labor. US is flooded with Latinos. And US with such an advanced economy doesn't have a clue how many Latinos are in US. Can you believe this 36 crore population? The estimate varies between 1 crore to 8 crore. Nobody has a clue in US how many Latinos are inside they only know there are adequate amount. And US, as usual, extremely confused country. Every state has got a definition of these fellow. One state says they are undocumented aliens. Another state says they are immigrants who are not recognized. Third state says illegal immigrants. So somebody gives them education facility, somebody gives them healthcare facility, somebody gives them driving license. So where exactly you stand, whether you are illegal or legal with a driving license, it's all very cumbersome. But US is sustained because of demographically they are still going strong. Okay, what about us? Ours is a very interesting type of a situation where partnership proprietorship constitute 50% of our economy. And let's not immediately conclude they are all very small or anything. There are 700 clusters in India, actually. 700 clusters, roughly. Now, all these clusters are significant source of economic activity. Tirupur, Surat for diamond, Namakkal for poultry, Sivakasi for your printing, Jalandhar for your sports goods. One can go on listing. I have done up to 120 clusters only. You can look at my book. All these clusters, whether one likes it or not, are caste clusters. So India, caste is a huge social capital. You simply can't do anything about it. All the clusters are caste clusters. Huge amount of social capital in terms of providing equity funds, in terms of absorbing the losses, in terms of organizing the market. Right. And some of them are very large in terms of turnover. Tirupur, for instance, on Armstrong Arumugam is there. His name is Armstrong Arumugam. His name is Arumugam, six-faced man. Armstrong is added because he was born on the day when Armstrong landed on the moon. So he got tagged on. He's called Armstrong. His turnover 4 years before was 2,500 crores. Very simple man with a dhoti, and you will never figure out that, except that he travels first class in Air France. Always. Monthly 4 times or 3 times. He goes, and once I met him actually, I was talking to him, he's a very nice gentleman. I told him, how do you manage? He knows only Tamil, he doesn't know any other. I told, how do you manage in France? He told me, Professor, in France also people don't know English, so why do you worry? Right? So, I loved that actually. And most of these people, entrepreneurs across the country I have seen, are all less than 12th class. That's a barrier. If you cross that, you can't be an entrepreneur. You can be only an employee. My students, right? They are only employees. Less than 12, because you know how to take risk. Higher the education, lower the risk taking. Because you begin to analyze, you begin to worry, you begin to have models, and then you decide, let me not go into this business. That's all. Right? I'm serious about it. The correlation is very critical. You see the man who had a petrol pump who ran in Aden and he came back. He was 5th class or 6th class. He came and built an empire, right? His son Stanford and other one is what? Wharton. See? They fought. They are determined to bring it to the petrol pump level, original. Highest level of education. Father was 6th class, 5th class or something, right? Anyhow, hundreds of examples can be given. So this is the share thing. This is what, where, service sector is the major area in which these are active. Whenever I talk service sector, immediately people recognize or talk about Narayan Murthy. But no, sir, that is only a very, very small portion of the service sector. All IT related services may be around 4.5% of the GDP, not more than that. This is actually the service sector. Construction, sorry, what is this? Something I have to do to bring it this side? Oh, that side, it's okay? Okay. Wholesale trade, retail, transport, other than railways, all private transport fellows. 2 truck walas, 3 truck walas, or those who shout, Chennai, 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 Bangalore, Bangalore, Bangalore in the local bus stations. And hotels and restaurant. Incidentally, restaurant is the fastest growing economic activity in India in the last 10 years. Every year, constant growth rate of 9 to 10%. Constant growth rate of 9 to 10%. Inflation adjusted everything. What we call in our jargon, CAGR. So restaurant inadequately focused. Nobody talks about it actually. Restaurant, I don't mean this where we are sitting. I mean the small hotels, small dabas, darshanis, fast food joints, all of that, right? That's the fastest growing. And trade, incidentally, is number 2 to agriculture in terms of share in the national income. Agriculture is around 18 to 19. Trade is around 17 to 18. Then comes manufacturing. Not many people are even aware of it. Trade is the largest, and retail trade in that is the bulk of it. All of it is run by proprietorship and partnership firms. Fitter, painter, plumber, carpenter, and all of them is employment wise, we have something like private, corporate and government 15% only. All others are self-employed. If you take the US, it is exactly the reverse. They have something like 90% in the, and self-employed is very, very small. So this is the group, self-employed group is a very large group, varying from, what do you call a small shop fellow running his own with family help to a very large exporter in diamond in Surat. All of them are part and parcel of this. Foreign flows, every day morning we are told FDI, FII, FII, FDI, like, our, what do you call, Venkatesh Suprabhadam. When I get up, where is FDI? Today will FDI come in? Delhi people say, sir, you must have a coat. If you don't have a coat, FII won't come. And if I yawn, they say, don't yawn, sir, in meetings. FII may not come. And you must have a India is very important. Sorry, sir, I am not, right? Because if you tell a lie with a tie, then it is more accepted in Indian business, right? Not without a tie. So, but I analyzed for the last 15 years, 10 years, never it has exceeded 6 to 8% of our investment. No year FIA and FDI put together is more than 8%. 92% has come from domestic investment. Of the domestic investment, domestic saving and domestic demand driven economy is ours. Of the domestic investment, if you look at the saving share, book, households constitute the largest percent. Okay, in simple sentence, the major drivers of Indian economy are Indian housewives. Nobody else. If you want to appreciate somebody, I told in the ministry, put up a statue of a unknown housewife from Kottayam to Kohima. You know, she stands like this. Below that you write, she is responsible for our growth. They are the primary savers. And huge amount of saving. Nobody bothers about them. Nobody talks about them. And people complain, you are saving too much. This is another issue now. The same fellows who told you are not saving adequately, one fellow Kusnatsi wrote Vicious Cycle of Poverty. He got Nobel Prize also. India as an example. One thing you should know, if you want to get international recognition and prizes, you must abuse India. It's very important. Never try to prize India, nothing you will get. You start abusing from Frankfurt or London, you will get immediately. So he wrote a book called Vicious Cycle of Poverty. India was the main example. Low income, low saving, low investment, low income. These are all doomed. Now the same fellows, assistant are telling, you are saving too much. You must spend. So there is a team in Washington working on how to make Indian women spend. Believe me, in seminar also they organize. How to make us as consumption driven. Not, they wrongly called me also. I told it's never going to work. India will continue for the next 20 to 30 years at least as a saving country only. Because we don't have a generalized social security. You people at 60, you get a check from government. Right? We don't get any. We may be asked when you reach 60, kindly give a check to us. And if you have invested in the wrong pension fund, they may say, sir, your money is gone. Equity has become negative. Can you kindly give us some funds? So this is the second is health again. Self-employed, 65, if you want to have a heart surgery, who is going to fund you? There is no NHS or nothing here. So for health purposes, people have to save. In some form or other, people have to save. Third is education. UKG and LKG is becoming more expensive today than my engineering and MBS. Anybody who has recently tried to put their kids will know what I am talking about. Cash you have to give. 2 lakh, sir, 1 lakh you give cash. And banks don't unfortunately lend for the school education. Peculiar. I always used to argue. You give for 4th and 5th floor, IIT and MBA, but not for foundation, LKG and first standard. They must lend actually. Banks must lend for school. There is no reason for them not to. They can always take the parents as the guarantor and repaying, but they don't. So you have to save, and Indian women are obsessed about their children's education, not men. Let's be very clear about it. Indian women are, Chinese women also. There is a book written by a Chinese girl in New York as a tiger mom, how she pushed her children to achieve. Same thing here also. Indian women are very, very, and the price is equated to value in India. So if some school charges more, it is felt that is a better school. Right? And in this seminar only I was asked why your women are obsessed about that. I told very simple, you don't know India, sir. Every mother in India wants her children to be better than her husband. Very simple. Right? But my professor colleague in Washington was shocked actually. Why? You see, this fellow cannot be rectified. Nothing can be done about him. You may not know, he is like ambassador car. You can't repair, you can't sell it, you can't run it. What do? You try to get Hyundai or something like that. No more. And then same thing. So the mothers want their children to, sometime when the father is not around, they may even do that actually. Don't be like Appa, study well. Quietly they will tell. Right? Not when he is around. Right? No, your wife is more courageous. Very good. You have empowered her adequately. I am thankful to that, right? Anyhow, they will tell, and he will say, no, Appa told gold medal, chodu do yaar. He is lying. There is no medal. He didn't even pass properly, right? Anyhow, so this education. The fourth is samskaras, marriage, death, birth. All the activities related to the person they have to spend. And lower the class you are, you spend more. I find my plumber running to the village on hearing about the death of somebody. And then he spends, I ask him, why do you do this? He says, who else will have to do it? Richer classes may not. They may send an SMS, sorry to hear that you have died and hope everything is settled. But poorer segments spend proportionately more money. If you add all these things, I have made an estimate, something like 30 to 35% you have to save. And the other one, of course, is bribery, which you have to give only in cash. For that also you have to save. You try building a house, you try cutting your road for sewerage, you try getting a pollution certificate. Any activity related to government you have to pay. Right? It's not a top secret or anything. You get a meter for your home. All endeavors connected with government you have to pay. For that also you require saving. It has to be paid in cash. So put together, huge amount of saving is required. And this is not going to decline in the next 2 decades at least. None of these reasons are going to dramatically change. So we will continue to be saving society. As one of the large retail owner told to me, your ladies he is an American, your ladies are very funny. They come to the mall, they look at everything and then they go back home. That's all. They don't buy anything. I told they want to have some AC possibility in the afternoon, right? That's a much better thing. Free AC, right? So this is the thing. Composition of saving, you may be surprised actually. Quite an amount of saving goes into banks and Provident Fund. Provident Fund, of course, everybody knows, compulsive saving. So we are primarily a bank-oriented economy. Share market, hardly 2-3% goes, 1 to 2%. Not more than that. Same thing in China, same thing in Japan, highly developed country. Japan, less than 7% of their household saving go into share market. They are bank-oriented people. Europe also. US is the only country which is share-oriented. Right. Here, of course, in the 90s, there was some enthusiasm. 7-8% went into the share market, came Arshad Mehta and, everything got sorted out, right? And then what I call million Abhimanyus in Indian share bazaar. Abhimanyu, I think most of you would have heard, unlike my students, because my student will ask, who is this Mr. Abhimanyu, sir? And then, there will be big quarrel. You would have heard about Abhimanyu, I'm sure. He knew how to enter the Chakravyuha, but he didn't know how to come out. So, many a time, individual investors know how to get into the share market enthusiastically. But unfortunately, they are not able to come out. 8,000 shares are listed in the market. Last year, 50% of them were not quoted even once. 25% quoted once. Right. Only out of 8,000 scripts listed, 100 to 150 are what you may loosely call active. Our markets are not great places in terms of household financial saving. So we have to look for non-market opportunities which are really plenty actually. This is the situation. Composition we show. Credit is gold is one area. Of course, everybody in seminars have told gold is unproductive, gold should not be. A fellow talks in seminar, gold is unproductive, his wife is in the shop. gold shop, right? This debate is going on for nearly 1500 years and it is not going to be sorted out. Another 100 years later, there will be another seminar on why people should not invest in gold. Never it's going to be. 1/3 of the world gold roughly we buy every year from 1916, 1916. Why 1916? From that time statistics is available. 1/3. We bought last year 800 tons. Middle East also you should add, because people in Middle East who buy gold are Indians. Don't think sheikhs are buying gold. All our Mallus are buying gold. And it will come to India. So gold is going to be and it is second is